What if someone told you that one of gospel music's most respected families was hiding a secret so intense it reached all the way into Bishop T.D. Jakes' ministry? Yes, the family of Shirley Caesar is at the center of a situation that few ever expected. In this video, we uncover the surprising link between Shirley Caesar's family and the ministry of Bishop T.D. Jakes. You're going to want to hear this. The truth behind these gospel legends may change how you see them forever. This is the channel where we go behind the scenes of gospel's biggest names. We cover the secrets, the conflicts, and the powerful truths that shape this world. Today's story is one that has been quietly unfolding for years. But now, it's out in the open. Shirley Caesar, known as the First Lady of Gospel, has been hiding a personal storm within her family. What makes this more shocking is how those issues are tied to Bishop T.D. Jakes, one of the most powerful spiritual voices in America. You're about to hear the real details, the names, and the unexpected impact this drama had on both ministries. Get ready to hear how family pain spilled into public ministry and how it nearly tore apart two gospel dynasties. Let's go behind the curtain. Shirley Caesar is a name that has meant excellence in gospel music for decades. Her voice, her influence, and her legacy are unmatched. With Grammy wins, global recognition, and generations of fans, she has earned her title as gospel royalty. But even gospel royalty faces struggles, and behind Shirley's success is a story filled with deep personal pain. Shirley has always talked about faith and the importance of family. But behind closed doors, things weren't always peaceful. Sources close to the Caesar family say they've dealt with serious problems that most people never knew about. From personal betrayals to money problems, their unity has been tested in painful ways. The most painful struggle came between Shirley and her oldest son, Melvin Donald Caesar. Sources say their relationship became strained over how Shirley's music and ministry were being managed. Melvin reportedly felt left out and ignored in important decisions. He believed his input wasn't valued and that control was slipping out of the family's hands. But it didn't end there. Other family members also clashed over the future of Shirley's legacy. Different opinions, fights about money, and personal bitterness grew behind the scenes. And it all became too big to stay private. What no one saw coming was how these family problems crossed into Bishop T.D. Jakes' ministry. This wasn't just a personal issue anymore. It became spiritual, public, and deeply controversial. But to understand how it got to that point, we have to look at what happened first and why it pulled T.D. Jakes into the mix. Trust me, this is where the story takes a wild turn. On the surface, Shirley Caesar and T.D. Jakes belong to different spiritual circles. Shirley is gospel royalty. Jakes leads a megachurch empire. But a few years ago, when Shirley's family was seeking spiritual help, some members reportedly turned to the Potter's House for support. The Dallas-based church, run by T.D. Jakes, is known for counseling and community outreach. That's when the families became linked in a very real way. Insiders say a spiritual counselor close to Bishop Jakes began working directly with Shirley's family. This person wasn't just offering guidance. They were helping settle family disputes, offering advice, and stepping into places that some felt crossed a line. Not everyone in Shirley's family welcomed this outside help. Some family members accused the counselor of taking sides. They said decisions were no longer coming from the family, but were being influenced by people connected to the Potter's House. This led to suspicions about the real motives behind the help. Was it about healing, or was something else going on? Whispers started to grow louder. Some claimed that personal fights in Shirley's family were being discussed within T.D. Jakes' circle. Even worse, these private problems began showing up in ministry negotiations and public events. It was no longer just a family drama. It was changing business deals, ministry schedules, and public appearances. One of the biggest signs came during a major gospel event organized by the Potter's House. Shirley Caesar was supposed to appear. Fans were excited, but just days before, she pulled out. Behind the scenes, the reason was linked to an argument with her son, Melvin. Reports say Melvin demanded control over certain aspects of the event, including financial guarantees. The Potter's House reportedly refused, and Shirley canceled. This wasn't just disappointing to fans. It was a huge red flag. The negotiations between Shirley's team and Jakes' ministry had fallen apart. Insiders say the earlier involvement of the counselor had caused distrust that affected everything from scheduling to contracts. Soon after, reports surfaced of a leaked email chain between Shirley's family and the Potter's House. These emails revealed ugly disputes about music rights, event control, and ministry obligations. The leak shocked the gospel world and raised questions about privacy and trust. Adding to the drama, some family members said they felt pressured by the ministry to follow its way of doing things. That included counseling sessions and other forms of guidance that didn't sit well with everyone. Some embraced it. Others felt pushed aside and disrespected. The tension turned into a silent war. On one side were Shirley's longtime managers. On the other were people tied to the Potter's House. Both groups wanted a say in how her legacy would be handled going forward. The result was chaos and confusion that spread across the gospel industry. But this wasn't just about business. Family members reportedly began to drift apart. Some felt emotionally drained. Others felt betrayed. Private meetings with counselors turned into battles over influence. A few even said their personal stories were shared without permission. The stress started to show. At public events, people noticed changes in Shirley. Her voice was still strong, but her spirit seemed weighed down. She was seen fighting back tears during some performances. Those close to her say she was carrying more than people knew. The situation sparked serious debate. Should ministries have this much control over artists' lives? And when a church tries to help, how far is too far? In Shirley's case, some people believe the ministry stepped in to help, but others believe it took too much power away from the family. The split became even more visible. Some of Shirley's family members began pulling away from both her traditional team and the Potter's House. They no longer trusted either side. The family was now divided, and the situation remained unresolved. This drama also affected how people see gospel music today. Shirley Caesar is a legend, a mentor, and a role model. But now her name is linked to controversy. It's not about her voice. It's about the pain behind the scenes and the way ministry and family can clash. The impact spread far. Gospel insiders began asking hard questions. Is it okay for a church to guide an artist's career? Should family matters stay private, even when they affect public ministry? The story made people uncomfortable, but it also forced conversations that were long overdue. It also exposed the pressure gospel artists face. They are expected to have perfect faith, strong families, and flawless reputations. But in real life, they're human. And Shirley's story proved that even legends can be caught in spiritual and personal storms. Some gospel leaders said the church needs new boundaries. Others called for better mental health support and more honesty about money and family issues. The situation between Shirley and T.D. Jakes' ministry became the example people used to talk about bigger problems. And that's when the debate got even more heated. Traditional gospel leaders felt the ministry had too much power. Younger voices said partnerships were needed to survive in today's world. Both sides wanted to protect gospel music, but they didn't agree on how. Fans were divided too. Some defended Shirley and blamed the ministry. Others thought her family was the problem. Social media lit up with comments and speculation. It was no longer just a story. It was a full-blown controversy. As things got worse, both Shirley Caesar and T.D. Jakes faced tough choices. Shirley tried to hold her family together. Sources say she spent long nights praying for peace. But the heartbreak was real. The fighting left her hurt and confused. Her family responded in different ways. Some stayed quiet. Others spoke out. The result was more rumors and more division. No one could agree on the full truth. On the other side, T.D. Jakes' ministry issued statements about care and responsibility. They said their goal was always to help, but critics accused them of controlling things behind the scenes. It became a public battle of perspectives. Behind the cameras, private meetings were held. Church leaders, counselors, and family members tried to bring peace. But so far, the results have been unclear. The emotions are raw, and the spotlight remains bright. This story is different from typical church drama. It's not just about public appearances. It's about real people facing real struggles. It's about how power, faith, and family can become dangerously mixed. And now, the question remains, will this lead to real change? Or will families and ministries continue to collide behind the scenes? Shirley Caesar's story is a reminder. Even the strongest leaders carry private pain. Even ministries with good intentions can cause harm if boundaries are not clear. And even gospel legends need support beyond the stage. In the end, the story of Shirley Caesar and T.D. Jakes is not just about two names. It's about the future of gospel. Will the gospel world learn from this? Or will the same patterns continue? Thank you for watching this deep dive. If you found this story eye-opening, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more shocking and real stories from the gospel world. What are your thoughts on the balance between family and ministry? Let us know in the comments below.